They say the old opera house sings by itself, that on nights when the moon is a sliver in the sky and the air is thick with dust, you can still hear her voice echoing across the broken stage. Her name was Celeste. She was the last singer to perform before the fire. The night it burned, they say she was rehearsing alone, a final, haunting aria for a performance that would never happen. When the flames licked at the high rafters, she just kept singing. Even as the grand ceiling collapsed, even as her entire world turned to ash and ruin, they never found her body. All that remained was her mask, cracked right down the center, and they say it was still warm to the touch. 50 years later, I stepped into those ruins. The air was heavy, clinging with the phantom scent of smoke that never truly cleared. The colossal chandeliers hung like skeletal remains, their crystals blackened, their light extinguished forever. I had come to write about history, to document the tragedy, but it seemed that history wasn't finished yet. As I cautiously stepped onto the stage, the floorboards groaned beneath my weight, as if in protest. Suddenly, a single spotlight flickered to life directly above me. It was impossible. There was no power, no audience, no reason for it to work. And then I heard it. Music. It started faintly. A piano playing notes that trembled with an ancient sorrow. Then a voice began to rise softly through the dust motes, dancing in the light. It was beautiful, almost too beautiful to belong to the world of the living. "Welcome back," the voice sang, the words wrapping around me like a cold embrace. "You kept me waiting." I looked up, and the shadows in the grand balcony seemed to stir. I could almost make out silhouettes of an audience that wasn't there, the silent motion of hands clapping, their faces pale and indistinct. I tried to call out, to ask who was there, but my voice was completely swallowed by the melody. This wasn't just a song anymore. It felt like a confession. The notes began to bend and shiver, each one dripping with a feeling like blood from an open wound. I could hear her nauseless walking just behind me. Her footsteps were impossibly light, yet deliberate. "Every song is a promise," she whispered, her voice right beside my ear. "And every promise must be kept." I spun around, my heart pounding in my chest, and there she was, or what was left of her, a figure formed from light and swirling smoke, her face obscured behind that same broken mask. Her gown shimmered like dying embers in the pale moonlight filtering through the shattered roof. "You wrote this song," she said, her voice filled with a strange mix of accusation and longing. "You left before it was finished." Her voice cracked on the last word. "Sing it with me." My throat felt tight, constricted. I hadn't sung in years, not since I couldn't remember. But the words came anyway, flowing from me as if they'd been there all along. Words I didn't even know I knew. As our voices joined, the stage beneath us began to glow with a soft, ethereal light. The ruined walls trembled, and the sound grew, filling the entire hall, a perfect, heartbreaking harmony of fire and grief. Then, as suddenly as it began, there was silence. She smiled, a gentle, sad expression. "Now it's finished." The mask fell from her face, crumbling away. For a fleeting moment, I saw her eyes empty, yet filled with a profound kindness. And then she dissolved into a swirl of ash, and the spotlight died, plunging me back into darkness. When I woke, I was lying on the cold stage. The sun was rising, casting weak light through the wreckage. But on the floor beside me lay a fresh sheet of music. The ink was new, the notes were perfect, and the title was written in my own handwriting, The Last Song of the Opera House. And sometimes, even now, when I close my eyes and the world goes quiet, I can still hear her singing in the silent spaces between my heartbeats, in the quiet that follows every sound. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoy stories that linger in the shadows, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more tales from the other side. Until next time, listen closely to the quiet places. You never know what you might hear.